how is it possible that the intelligence community in the United States was not instantly on their way over there, let alone the geographical assets that are already like, how is that even possible?
Well, I'm not sure they were tracking on him. We told them about Faraj in February, and really the talk we got back is this person's not a terrorist. We don't have any derogatory information on him. And that's all we got back from the government. Obviously, he goes and commits a terrorist attack in Germany a couple months later, so he was a terrorist. Oddly, Germany even started calling him ISIS, so the U.S. government really dropped the ball and doesn't have any info on him to begin with. So he would have got to the United States as a clean operative because the U.S. did not have derogatory information on him. And we got to remember, a lot of these guys came to this country and you can't background check them.
Yeah, but they have derogatory information on him now. Don't you think that would pique interest?
You
I
think
mean,
it
great, like,
would?
yeah, like the dossier, you open it and it's like a fly buzzes out. I'm like, okay, we didn't have it before, but now we have all this other information. That to me, God, I wish that Jason Bourne was real. I wish
I
that
do
the
too.
Central Intelligence Agency, it was all like holographic screens and the smartest, most capable people. And I'm sure there's super smart, capable people there. But damn it. I mean, again, I was describing it earlier today that the volume knob on the threat warning, like what started off as a low static, it's just increasing. And I'm not tied in enough to understand, other than from the people I hear and that I trust, the volume keeps going up and up and up and up. And the idea of a homeland attack is something that is being resonated across many of those individuals. What I don't understand, I mean, what has to happen? What would you do if you were in the Oval Office? And you're like, hey, Trump, by the way, they're trying to kill you personally, but this is what you should probably do.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is they have to be honest that Al-Qaeda is bigger than it's ever been. It's capable. It's doing this plot because the interesting thing is in the U.S. government, the narrative is that the main threat to the United States is only ISIS. And they'll only focus on ISIS. The funding is only going to focus on ISIS. And there's not even money going to look at Al-Qaeda, right? So we have to start collection again on Al-Qaeda and be honest about it. And then we have to talk about how the U.S. government is collecting information from terrorists, be it in Afghanistan and Syria, and putting into classified channels as fact and not being honest where it's coming from, right? Because terrorists are who's influence our collection. That's who we're trusting to provide accurate information on Al-Qaeda, if you can believe it. So we have really big problems. The last thing would be I would start bombing camps in Afghanistan tomorrow. I will give them geocords of the camps for free. Just start doing it. Because as you know, once you start hitting these people, things get delayed. So when Dr. Ayman al-Zawahiri got hit, they pushed the October 7th attacks one whole year. I don't know if you saw, but in March, they hit the head of the military commission for ISIS's Iraq branch. He was the mastermind of the New Orleans attack in January, so it might have even stopped some other ISIS plots in the United States, right? Doing those strikes has effects.
Do you think that the New Orleans attack was an isolated dry run for something else?
No, I do believe it was an attack. I believe he failed in making his bombs. And the interesting part is, so for Al-Qaeda's Homeland plot, they had two big failures, right, in the past. One is they made crappy bombs, right? The shoe bomber had moisture, the underwear bomber peed himself. And then two, people had loose lips, right? They got into customs, they freaked out and said, I went to terrorist camp with these 10 guys. So like, we need to fix these two pieces. So how they fixed the bomb piece, they said, you all have to come and take bomb making training. Well, when they brought the terrorists in to make bomb making training, they're like, okay, we can train you as good as we want. We can bring in the greatest Al-Qaeda trainers there are. You suck still at making bombs. So what they did, I know. So what they did for the suicide bombs for the Homeland attack, they made them in laboratories. They are made by scientists. They're not made by some Joe Schmo in his kitchen. And I think that's a big thing that people haven't wrapped their minds around yet. So New Orleans, he made his own bombs and he failed at it.
Again, I was talking today because at a geopolitical level or at the Oval Office, okay, like there's a dozen people and they're making decisions. Guess what? You and I aren't a member of that anymore.
Right.
And it comes down to like, what is your average person supposed to do when they hear that this volume knob is being increased? And I hate to be, I'm never an alarmist. I try to objectively work through stuff. I'm like, listen, the odds are in your favor. Stats are in your favor. None of those things matter though. If you find yourself in one of these events, the stats go completely out the window. And other than for people to maybe start with acknowledging that is an axis out there for whatever you believe that would love for you to no longer exist, and a small fraction of that axis belief will actually do something about it. You can analyze, I guess, and assess your own behavior and try to mitigate risk and change your own behavior. But what advice would you give to somebody who they are hearing these warnings and they look at a government and they're worried whether or not they're paying attention? What would you say to them?